Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Millie and today's video is going to be a July anti-haul. This is now my third month that I've done an anti-haul and I feel like these months have just flown by. I feel like I was just filming my first anti-haul. I know it's only 3 months, but it feels like before I know it, I have to film another anti-haul. And if you're curious about this look, it is part of my 3 looks, 1 palette and review of the Pure and Raw Beauty Christie collaboration palette. And that is going to go up after this video because those just take a little longer. I really want to do a 5 looks 1 palette, but I don't know if I have the time, so it might just be 3 looks. But I wanted to note that just in case you're interested about this look and how I achieved it, it will be up. So let's hop right into it. It's going to be a mixture of mainstream brands and some indie brands. So let's just start. I feel like this month the releases definitely sped up a little bit more. I felt like it was a little slow, but now I have quite a bit to get through, at least it feels like it. And for the most part, there's been only very few releases that really interested me. So the first one is the Ulta collaboration with Harry Potter. I think this was very underwhelming for a lot of people. I know some people who got the palettes and I felt like they looked better in their photos in real life than the photos from the website and the launch photos. All these palettes just feel really safe, very muted, and just very disappointing. I would definitely have chosen different colors for some of these. And with this collection, there's also like a lip balm, lip gloss, some brushes that just are some wholesale brushes from like AliExpress. I'm pretty sure I've seen these somewhere else or some other brand release these same ones, and I do like the thin illustration treatment. I think that is very nice, and it almost makes you feel like it's a little bit more sophisticated when it really isn't. But yeah, this was just such a disappointment. And honestly, I feel like there's so many other brands that I could have seen do a collaboration or a Harry Potter themed palette and done a much better job. I just feel like Ulta's collabs like this are always pretty boring. Next on to Violet Voss, which they haven't released anything in a really long time. It feels like, I don't remember, like I feel like the last thing I remember from them is the hashtag palette. No, there was the flamingo palette, which I didn't like. Anyways, this is a pinky brown palette, and when I first saw this, I thought this was actually the Midas Cosmetics and Smoky Glow palette. A little bit similar in the way that the palette looks, and I was super shocked when I saw that it was Violet Voss. But I just have all these colors a million times over, and it's pretty but up my alley. And I have had the hashtag palette, and before that I had the OG palette. I don't remember, it was a long time ago, but the hashtag palette, the shimmers in there were really nice, and so were the mattes, so I'm sure that the quality is great. I just feel like the packaging looks pretty cheap for how it's $42. I feel like that's a lot for that. Next on to a summer collection from Ofra. Are people buying Ofra? I'm genuinely interested to know if people buy their eyeshadows because I've never heard anything. I think I've mentioned this like 2 anti-hauls ago or some other time. I did get 2 of the 5-pan palettes from Octoly a while ago. It was like a purple one and a super nude one, and the purple one was awful, just absolutely awful. I can't believe these are $33, $35 actually, no, $32. I think that's so super overpriced. No wonder they always have sales, like always. So they also have this really large palette. This is just so unappealing. I think the mini palette with the pop of yellow and the pink and the blue leads you to believe it's exciting, but it really isn't, and I would not trust the formula. I just really am never on the lookout for Ofra. It's just kind of that annoying thing that pops up on my feed sometimes, and I'm like, who is buying this shit? But anyways, on to something much more exciting, even though I am anti-hauling it, and that's 2 new palettes from Dose of Colors. I forget what they're called, Smoky, Soiree, and Cutting Edge. I mean, these are gorgeous. I think these are really great balance between mattes and shimmers. The shimmers look like they would be really nice. I've seen some reviews and they seem a little bit more like toppers, but I love these color stories. I think they're gorgeous. don't really see a place in my collection for these two palettes. I have tried their other 5-pan all matte palettes and I didn't also love the formula. Very powdery. That was a while ago though, so I wonder if I would have a different experience, because I do feel like my skill is a bit different from back when I had their other, I think it was like Marvelous Mauves or something like that. But regardless, I would love to see even more of these kinds of palettes with some mattes and shimmers in them. I think that'd be really cool. If maybe one day they will come out with a color story that will just be irresistible. And then next up is One Size, which is a new brand by Patrick Starr. Now, I never really followed him. I think I used to watch him like a long time ago when he was really popular, but I'm happy for Patrick Starr for launching his own brand. I think that's really big. However, there's makeup wipes and that's just so disappointing. If I would ever use a makeup wipe, it would be to wipe off some arm swatches, but never on my face, never again. I feel like there's a lot of people that are very educated on skincare that would explain to you better than I can, but basically they're just not good for your face. But with that, he also came out with a makeup removing mist, which that thing is actually kind of interesting. I kind of think that's cool. I'm not really sure how I would feel about spraying my face and possibly getting into my hair, but I do like that idea in general. I love just anything oily that will take off my makeup. And then right after this, he launched also a palette and a bunch of eye toppers. The eye toppers are really pretty, very neutral. They kind of just look like the shades that are in the palette. $42 for the palette. I don't know, I'm just really personally not into it. I think if you covered that blue, it's pretty much just like a bronzy neutral palette, so not exciting at all. And so then next on to Becca Zero, which is a no pigment virtual foundation. And this has been getting so much criticism and it's kind of hilarious, because everyone's like, why is it called a foundation when it doesn't have any coverage? This is basically for people who already have perfect skin to have even more perfect skin. So this would do nothing for me. Maybe use it as a primer. And they also came out with a no pigment highlighter for face and lip, which is basically just like an oil lip gloss tube looking thing, and you put it on your face and it gives you a natural glow. Again, perfect for people who already have perfect skin, who have no pores and no pimples and no bumps and discoloration. Like, I would just never buy this. Even if I had the money burning a hole in my pocket, I would just not buy this because it's so bad. Next we have Stila. What happened to Stila? I didn't even know that they were still a brand, but they came out with a new Bohemian Renaissance collection that looks literally exactly the same as all the products that they already have. There's this horrible lip gloss that comes in that like brush applicator. Stila just really seems to not be able to keep up. I feel like these products would have been exciting 5 years ago. Next up is the Wayne Goss Cosmetics eyeshadow palette and 3 kohl eye pencils. Another snooze fest. There's so many beige. Oh, the light just switched and the sun just got covered by the cloud. Sorry, the lighting changed. This palette is just so boring to me, and it's only 6 pans and there's a huge black eyeshadow. At no point in my life would I have liked this, honestly. Like, there's no need for this at this point. It also looks like a NARS palette. And the next is another influencer owned makeup brand. This is Dragon Beauty, and these are some new matte liquid lipsticks. It's 2020. Are we still buying liquid lipsticks and making liquid lipsticks? I don't know. They just have various colors from reds to nudes. And the only thing I like about this is the component. I think it's very cool and interesting. The video for the launch is just, oh, you will literally cringe. It's so cringy. It's just so weird. I really don't understand her brand at all. Nothing has ever interested me. I feel like Dragon Beauty just like randomly trickles out these random products that just really don't have a place in the world. So next up is M Cosmetics, and they are launching 4 new colored drop serum blushes. And I have 2 of these. I have like an orangey shade and like a cooler toned pink shade, I believe. The dropper just like works sometimes, but most of the times the dropper doesn't even work. So it's kind of awkward to use, and this is really great for people who don't wear foundation or people that wear a really light foundation, because this always ends up making my foundation patchy and it kind of disintegrates, and I was just really disappointed in the two that I have. I love the shades, don't get me wrong. The formula is just not compatible with my makeup routine personally, so I will not be picking those up. Also, they're pretty expensive from what I remember. I think I got them as a bundle, but they're $25 each, which I feel like is a lot for something that the dropper doesn't even work. Next up is a palette from Unicorn Gang Shop, but they came out with a new palette that is called Secrets of the Fae, I think F-A-E, and the artwork is really stunning, really cool. It's like an elf and it's very dreamy. I love the artwork. The color story is pretty So I would also do like that the artwork from the outside continues into the inside. But back to the color story, there's like a grungy green, like a light green, and then there's two metallic greens. I don't know, the metallic greens don't really look that great. And then there's a teal, like a deep teal, which is really nice, and then like an aqua, which is nice. But I kind of get lost with the grungy. I don't know, I just don't find this color story particularly inspiring. And then next is the Glamlite Donut palette, which has been finally revealed what the inside looks like. They've been teasing the outside, and it's another one of those like chunky, squishy palette packaging. And I love this color story. Actually, I do gotta say I like the color story. I don't love the layout, and just in general, I'm not buying from Glamlite anything that's chunky like this. And I already have these colors more or less in just dispersed throughout my palettes, but I do think that this color story is really, really beautiful. And I like that there's a highlighter in the center, which I don't usually like when there's face stuff paired with eyeshadows in one palette, but this is kind of cool because you could use it as an inner corner highlight and a face highlight. It looks very beautiful. Blue slash kind of almost purpley color story. I think it's very nice. Next up are some palettes from Moira Cosmetics, which I've heard of them here and there. They have some actually really beautiful color stories in some of their other eyeshadow palettes, but I just haven't really felt like I needed to actually go ahead and buy something from them. Well, they came out with these, it looks like 4 eyeshadow palettes, and it looks like they have some face products in there. Speaking of which, I literally just talked about how I don't like that. I don't love the color stories, but I think that they could have been executed much better, and they could have been much more exciting with just a couple of switch outs. The palette that interests me the most is the blue one with the blue background. That one, because there's a lot of purples, and I love me some purples. And it looks like that one doesn't have blushes, but it has like contour shades maybe. And then the other ones have blushes, which is kind of like, doesn't make sense, because then if you want blushes, then you would have to buy the other palette to use the blushes from that palette, and then the contour or bronzer from that palette. It's so hot in here and I'm sweating, so that's going to be the last makeup release for this video. Let me know in the comments below which makeup release from July you're anti-hauling, and if you did actually buy any of these products, how you like them. I would love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I will put up some of my other videos up on the screen in case you want to keep watching. I hope to see you next time.